Hey guys, Ty Lord here with some wonderful weekly pickups coming at you from the cab of my pickup truck. I've mostly just been doing this in my car the last year, mostly because it saves me a lot of editing time. I did enjoy doing that, but it saves me a lot of times. But honestly, my little area I used to film at is just totally cluttered with my girls' toys. My girls turned the whole house into their room. So, they have their little forts and everything set up all around that area. So I might as well just come out here and do it in my truck, which is fine. I'm not gonna restrict them from building their little forts all over the place. They have fun making their little houses all around the house. Their whole house is their room. So I guess I kind of spoil them, but anyway. So I have a good bunch of pickups here, video games. So a really good pickup. This is the best pickup in years. This is the first time I've ever bought anything like this in many years. I actually got something new and expensive. You'll see what it is. You probably have a good idea what it is. So taking my girls to, but they like to look at the Dollar Tree and Walmart at the toys. So I was walking back and forth between there, and we happened to stop in GameStop. They like going in there too because there's a lot of little toys and plushies. So while I was in there, I happened to ask the guy if he knew when Xbox Series X, if they were getting any. He says, "Oh yeah, we actually happen to have some right now. You can get them for $550, and it comes with a $50 gift card for GameStop." And I called my wife right then because we got a bigger income tax return than we expected. We usually treat ourselves to something nice. I called her to see if I could make it happen, and the wife okayed it. So here it is, the old Xbox Series X. Is it upside down? Yeah, there we go. Xbox Series X. Really nice packaging too. This is like the coolest packing job I've ever seen. I'm sure you've seen people unpacking them. It's a nice little square refrigerator type thing, very unoffensive to the eyes. Almost looks like a little nice clean little computer tower or something. It's really unoffensive to the eyes. Like, it doesn't look dorky at all. But the packing it was really nice. A really nice packing job that they did with this. I'm sure you've seen it before. We came with a nice controller. The controller is nice. It's so nice going back to the Xbox controller after a generation of PS4. We never got the Xbox One. And this is as much as my wife's as it is mine. This takes me back. It's kind of nostalgic to me. When my wife and I first got together, we had an Xbox 360 and we shared an Xbox, but we had separate accounts. We still have the same accounts from our Xbox 360 on this thing now. So it's kind of nostalgic. Only like 4 of the purchases I got on Xbox are compatible with this. But I looked up on Wikipedia or whatever it was, the list of backward compatible games. I have at least 100 of them. At least 100 backward compatible games. Maybe like 80 to 90 Xbox 360 games. Probably 10 to 30 original Xbox. I have quite a few of them. And I got an extra use Xbox One controller. That thing's marvelous as well. Really cool going back to Xbox. Let me tell you, we've been playing, my wife has been playing Saints Row and Fable Anniversary, and they run really smooth. A lot of there are no load times at all. It's crazy. This thing's really quiet. I haven't played any new games yet, but I did play some Fallout New Vegas. 0 load times. It looks better than it's ever looked. And what else? I played some Morrowind. Oh my gosh, Morrowind's not even the same game. It's the original Xbox disc I have. You put it in there. There's like load time. I'd have to sit there for like 2 minutes every time I loaded up Morrowind. Now this thing just loads up, and it's crystal clear. It's not even like the same game. Like, there's no lag when you're exploring, when it's loading the areas. The textures look cleaner. I don't know. what they did with this game, but it's not even the same game as the original Xbox, which I enjoyed. I'm not knocking it, but anyway. So now that I had that 360, now that I have the Series X rather, and I had been collecting some games. Like my friends give me games from time to time. Maybe they don't realize I don't have an Xbox or I didn't have one. So I had about 10 games already that I can play on it, Xbox One. So at GameStop, I had a $25 certificate, so I went and redeemed that. I got another Skyrim because I understand the 360 version doesn't work on that. That's one my wife and my girls like to play too. And I got Mad Max. I hear nothing but good things about this. I might play this game next. And then Mafia 3. So that's special edition, or deluxe edition. So I got all that with my little $25 certificate, which is cool. Very cool. Didn't get any other old Xbox games, but I did get Indigo Prophecy. This is not compatible on it, unfortunately. I do have my Xbox still hooked up to the Trinitron that Dean gave me. Escape to Gaming Dean. But this is a pretty cool game, Indigo Prophecy. It's that same guy that does all of those Heavy Rain, and one of my favorites, Omicron Nomad Soul. Omicron Virus Nomad Soul. Yeah, what is this developing thing? Quantic Dream. They did Omicron Nomad Soul, that Heavy Rain. A lot of those games like that, those newer games, so they're sort of very cinematic and very movie-like. This even sells itself as a movie. Like you put it in, press play, press stop, start movie. It says so. This is like a detective thriller movie. Excuse me. Oh, speaking of Omicron, yeah, it has supernatural elements, kind of a murder mystery type deal. You take control of the murderer who was under some kind of trance. He didn't mean to kill the guy. So you're constantly paranoid and on the run from the cops with that guy. It's set in it's in a big city. It's New York, I think. But so you play the killer and you play the two detectives, this boy and a girl, the detective team. And it really feels like a movie. Pretty good so far from what I played. And then I beat the Shadow Man. I started playing it on PS1 as well. I beat Shadow Man. I got all the Dark Souls, all 120 of them on N64. So I started playing Shadow Man 2. Kind of the same, but a lot different. This one has, you can beat them up. In this one, you can use your fists and hand whip and swords and clubs and bats and stuff. Kind of similar game, but of course, it's a newer generation, so it has a little bit better graphics. I haven't gotten too far. I'm still in Louisiana. This time you can go in the little city, in the town, and go into the buildings. And there's thugs you fight with, kind of like a beat 'em up. But so far, and then you go back to some of the same areas in the first game. I thought it was kind of cool to see an updated area of the little church at the beginning. Anyway. Yeah, on to Rasputin's, then I'll get into the movies. Only thing Rasputin's I found, I had to get these because they were 50 cents. Winter Games Ultimate Challenge 2008. This is sealed, so that was 50 cents. I'll probably give it to Tight White. I'm not gonna open it. Looks like there's Tanya Harding right there. No, this is 2008. I don't think she was around then. And then a Medal of Honor Frontline, another copy. That doesn't have the book, but 50 cents. That's a good game. This is one of the first games I beat on original Xbox. I like that game. Okay, then on to the movies. My buddy Mario, Retro T-Barone, sent me some DVDs and Blu-rays, and this was one of them. Damon Packard's Reflections of Evil. This Blu-ray, it's like a bootleg, but I guess it's official. The real guy puts it out. This is a really, really surreal, obnoxious horror slash. It's I guess it's a horror. It's a really depressing movie like about this big fat watch salesman. He just goes to the store and buys the watches for like $3, and he goes on the street and sells them for $5, and he can never get ahead. And he's really gets more and more obese as the movie goes on. He lives with his grandma, and he just eats he eats everything she has in the house like a pig. He's this big fat slob, and he's always wearing these. I don't know if the guy's really that fat. It's the director, I think, plays the main role. His name's like Bubba. This is the weirdest freaking movie I've ever seen. It's so freaking surreal. But I gotta give it credit. Like I don't think, like, he goes into Universal Studios and goes on all the rides and works it around the little story. And and it goes back to the 70s, and it shows Steven Spielberg making a movie. And people die on the set. It's like it's a set. They do have some good 70s or early 70s, late 60s. I guess it's early 70s like atmosphere in this. I know it looks like all of the music in here is not originally. He got it from other places. Right off the bat, I noticed a John Barry cue. I know John Barry's my favorite composer. I noticed one right away in this movie from Dances with Wolves. So everything in this movie, they've taken music from other movies. Same with movie scenes. You see everything from Star Wars, The Lord of the Rings, to Omega Man with Charlton Heston. Okay, so back to the story, though. I don't want to give too much away, but this guy, he's destitute, and his grandma kicks him out, and he lives kind of on the street. He just gets fatter and fatter, and everyone is mean to him, and he's not nice himself, but he just gets in fights and in arguments with everyone he walks by, and dogs hate him. Every time people are walking their dog, the dogs all hate him, and he's yelling at me. He wants to fight with them. He's, "I'll kill your dog." Okay. Dude, this movie is freaking obnoxious. It does have a story. His sister, and he was a little kid that was high on sugar. He was a really hyper kid, and in the 70s, his grandma took him and his sister to Universal Studios, and somehow his sister broke away from them and met up with some hippies and got into PCP, and I guess that led to her death. There's a twist at the end. This movie is so freaking bizarre. But man, I appreciate it though, because the type of stuff, like, he gets in fights with these cops. So like I don't know how it's so freaking low budget, but it's kind of incredible how he got away with doing some of this stuff, like especially in Universal Studios and like you could tell it's just like they snuck the camera into Universal Studio to shoot some scenes in the movie. Good gosh, this movie's obnoxious. It's really depressing too. Like all these destitute like crackheads on the street all fighting and yelling at each other and yelling at him every time he walks by, like showing the really dark side of LA. Good gosh. I can't really do this justice. Maybe I'm giving too much of this movie away, but man, it was really obnoxious in a couple parts. I almost couldn't get through some of it, but I'm glad I watched the whole thing. Oh, I even noticed a song I really like from I think it's The Return of the Pink Panther. It's one of those Inspector Clouseau movies. It's the theme of Inspector Clouseau. They use that in this movie too. Everything is just a hack in this movie, but you can tell some heart went into this. Yeah. Okay, on to the dollar movies. I went to the Dollar Tree, but screw that place. Like, it's just a pile of movies in like trays, and they're all vertical. Some of them are horizontal, and then there's like packages of phone covers all piled on top of it. I don't even want to deal with that stuff, or phone chargers. I'm not dealing with that crap for $1.25 for movies. But I have my nice Rasputin hole where I get dollar movies, 95-cent movies right here. And these are good ones. Some that I already had, but I had to pick these up because I'm going to give them away. I'll get to those first. William Friedkin's French Connection, one of the best thriller movies ever made. Some of the best car chases, on foot chases, like cool suspense cop movie. Really good stuff right here with Gene Hackman and I think Roy Scheider. Yeah, Roy Scheider's in here. Man, really cool movie. So I might give that to one of my friends, or if anyone wants that. I'm sure you can watch it on Netflix or Tubi. Another one of my favorite movies that I have such nostalgia for. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always loved this movie. I've been showing it to my girls because they love Pegasi and unicorns and stuff. Here's Clash of the Titans, directed by Desmond Davis, but everyone knows it as Ray Harryhausen's movie, the guy that does the stop-go animation. This is one of his later stop-go animations movie. It's such a charming movie. This really captures your imagination. This is how I wish fantasy movies were now. It was like one of the ultimate fantasy movies here. Perseus. It's a Greek mythology story. I'm sure stuff has been altered for the movie from the real mythos, but like I know the Kraken is a big dragon four-armed monster in this, and not a octopus or whatever it really is. But you got Pegasus, you got the Gorgon, Medusa in here. You got the two-headed dog. Giant scorpions, fun adventure. I love this movie. It's just so charming, the music and everything. I think Zeus plays. I see a lot of old actors in here that I like. Oh yeah, Laurence Olivier is Zeus, and Burgess Meredith, who played the Penguin, and Mickey from Rocky's in here. Ursula Andress is in here from Dr. No. Honey Rider's in here. Who else? I know. Yeah, this is a cool movie. Fun adventure. It kind of feels old. It's 81, but it feels more classic than 81. It feels like something from the 60s or something. I just really love this movie. And then another weird movie, I've always kind of liked this. It's just like a weird movie. A film by Jeannot and Caro. I'm not really sure who makes it. It's a French movie. It's called The City of the Lost Children. This movie is a trip. It's really even hard to follow it, but just the visuals and everything is very captivating in this. I know, I'm pretty sure that video game BioShock really borrows from this heavily. It's a lot of the same imagery. Like there's these like weird altering chemicals, like these guys here you do it. Okay, so there's like underwater, like there's a I don't know, it just seems very BioShock. Like there's a little girl, and Ron Perlman's in it, and he's protecting the little girl. There are these two weird twin females, like they shoot these mosquitoes. It's been a while since I've seen it. Like they have these mosquitoes inject people, and then they can control them, like with the music they play. I don't know. It's been a while. This is a weird freaking movie. But I get really big BioShock vibes when I watch this. But I have that one, if anyone's interested in that. And here's another one of my favorite, really underrated horror thriller martial art movie, Silent Rage with Chuck Norris. Really cool, like slasher horror movie with Chuck Norris. It's like a slasher movie, but with like a cool hero character that comes to the rescue to fight. It's like if Chuck Norris was in a Jason movie or Michael Myers movie. Like Chuck Norris keeps taking it to this guy, all these karate kicks all day. That guy just keeps coming back, like Jason or Michael Myers. So I got another copy of that for $1. Then I got some other movies. This was $1. The Whaler trilogy, La Llorona 1, 2, and 3. I've never seen any of those, but I think I hear some of the guys talk about these. If I don't watch them, I'll give them to my buddies. And then Francis Ford Coppola's classic horror, Dementia 13. I always hear good things about this, but I've never watched it. But I can't pass that up for $1. Who is in this? I don't recognize anyone. Directed by Francis Ford Coppola, starring William Campbell, Luana Anders, Bart Patton, Mary Mitchell, Patrick McGee. So I'm kind of interested in that. I've been hearing, like on top lists of horror movies, I've been seeing that on there, if I'm not mistaken. Here's one, some creature features. I like the Jawsploitation genre. Here's a compilation with Octopus 1, Octopus 2, Crocodile, and Blood Surf. I really like Crocodile. It's really corny and low budget, but really fun. It's directed by Tobe Hooper from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre director 1 and 2. Cool. Blood Surf is pretty entertaining from what I remember as well. Got that one. Here's a movie I needed in my collection because I really love this movie ever since, I think my dad and I and my sister went and saw it at the drive-in when we were little. And it was just really charming, and I always liked it. Harold Ramis's Groundhog Day with Bill Murray and Andy McDowell. Really cool, sort of, not really time travel, but sort of science fiction. I remember my dad was kind of disappointed with it. He thought it was going to be more of a comedy, but it's more like a romantic movie. But it's a really nice, charming movie. Groundhog Day. So I had to get that. I see it before, but I don't really want to spend what they're asking. But all of the movies have been marked down to $1.95, and now they're half off, so they're 95 cents. And then Kevin Sorbo in Cull. For whatever reason, I've never seen this, but I've been seeing it on like top 10 lists of fantasy movies. I like those sword and sorcerer type movies, like the Conans and the Beastmasters, Sword and the Sorcerer. A lot of Italian ones I like. One of my favorite genres, but I've never seen this one. I think it's from the 90s. And it's got Tia Carrere in there. Abraham Lincoln herself. Yeah, Kevin Sorbo is a stud, and Tia Carrere, you can't ever go wrong with her. Yeah, so I gotta watch that one. I don't even know who directs this or anything. And then the last one I got was City Hunter with Jackie Chan. This is a cool, I love this movie. It's kind of, it must be based on an anime, because I've never seen the anime, or if it's a comic or manga or whatever. I've never seen any of that. I think it's a Chinese made movie or Hong Kong made, but it really has that Japanese anime feel. Like it's really weird. It feels like a cartoon. So it's got to be based on an anime. Like if you were just listening to this and didn't watch it, you'd think you were watching an anime. Like the humor is so juvenile and perverted, like anime, like, but it's freaking hilarious. And Jackie Chan's like a cop or a detective, and he's gets stuck on this nice cruise ship, and there's a robbery taking place, and there's some bad guys. It's got Richard Norton in here, who's awesome. He's the bad guy. And also Gary Daniels is one of the bad guys in here, and he's a stud. At one point, Jackie Chan dresses up as all of the Street Fighter characters and fights with Gary Daniels. Gary Daniels is dressed up like Ken. Dude, freaking Gary Daniels is Ken to a T from Street Fighter. Like, it's a pity he didn't play Ken or someone like Ken in a... He could have passed for a Terry Bogard too, but Yeah, really funny movie. Really bizarre, like really juvenile, perverted, like 13-year-old like humor, but it's hilarious. Typical stuff you would see like in anime. Okay, yeah, City Hunter, and that's about it. How long did I drag on? I didn't get a half hour yet, so that's good. I had quite a few things to cover. So thanks for stopping by, guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Let me know what you guys have been picking up as well.